And welcome to the Roadmap, Benzinga's NFT show. We've got a good one for you today after a week away from everyone. So we're glad to be back. We're going to be talking about all things NFT market. Is this Solana summer? Taking a look at the top 10 projects, some recent news, some recent mints, and taking questions from the chat. So make sure you let us know that you're here. Smash that like, a comment, and it is time for the roadmap. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in live if you are watching us on YouTube. Also, if you're catching us on replay on YouTube or listening in as a podcast on all major podcast platforms, we appreciate your support. Speaking of support, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor. Today's episode is sponsored by FTX US, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges in the world in terms of trading volume and daily users. The FTX app is used by over 6 million people to buy crypto and NFTs with no transaction or withdrawal fees. You can use your phone or computer, and the FTX US trading platform offers NFT trading on both the Ethereum and Solana blockchains with no gas fees. To find out more, click on the link in the description and also in the chat right now, and let FTX know that Benzinga sent you their way. Again, a shout out to FTX for sponsoring today's episode. I think it's time to go ahead and bring on my co-host, Benzinga's own Brian Moir. Brian, what's going on, buddy?
Doing pretty good. How are you?
Doing good. It's good to be back. We had some illness here and a week off, but we're kicking now. And speaking of kicking, I know we got a lot of people here watching. Everyone, let us know where you're watching from. Let's get that chat going. And as you can see, that chat will appear live on the screen throughout the episode. So we're more than happy to answer questions and pull up comments from our chat. We love our viewers. Brian, I want to start out the show with some news that we were just talking about before the show started. Looks like it just hit the press about a half hour ago, and that's news that Robinhood, a popular stock trading platform that also offers some crypto trading, is planning a Web3 crypto wallet for DeFi traders and NFT buyers. This is news. Of course, Robinhood has said they had some new features coming this year, including, integrating wallets. I know I was on a wait list for a while for a crypto wallet, but the NFT side of things is on the newer side, and also the fact that it sounds like there won't be fees. Brian, what's your initial takeaway here from this Robinhood news?
Yeah, we were just talking about this. So it is a little like, I don't know how they're going to get around not having network fees. And they use the word network fees and they don't use gas. So, maybe there's a difference. They think there's a difference, and maybe they're just using buzzwords. It's something I also just now thought about by not saying gas and saying network fees. To me, I feel like they are the one and the same. But it's just I think, and you even mentioned that they're probably going to eat the cost just to get more users and be ahead of MetaMask and Coinbase. I don't know how they're going to get around it because, say you have a couple, a lot of Ethereum you're trying to move around or something, that's a pretty costly little transfer right now. And I don't know how they're going to, kind of eat that, because depending on the time of day, we're talking either $5 or $500. It just all kind of depends. And it'd be very interesting to see how they work around that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this leads to a ton of, questions, comments. And one of the big things for me and Brian, us working for Benzinga, being a financial news site, one of the biggest things that's changed for the stock market over the last, decade was the introduction of commission-free trading. And Robinhood was one of the companies that pioneered that. and then everyone else had to copy it. So, we're sponsored by FTX. FTX offers NFT trading, Ethereum and Solana, no gas fees. Now we have Robinhood joining the ranks, and it looks like no gas fees. So I feel like this is going to mean that eventually you're going to have to offer, no gas fee trading, or you're going to be left out, because I think that these companies are going to see users flock to them. And, Robinhood was able to offer, commission-free trading by selling some of their data, by offering some monthly subscription plans. So I'm curious if maybe Robinhood will have, a monthly subscription service that you can sign up for. Maybe it offers, NFT trading ideas or insights, or even data, right? That's something that, us in the NFT community always want, right? Is data. What are the top buys right now? What's being minted right now? And Robinhood would have access to that data on their platform that they could share with people, and they could probably charge for it. So that could be a way to kind of offset some of the fees there. But
that's what I was thinking too.
We saw Coinbase enter the market, and it's been kind of lackluster so far. Their NFT marketplace really didn't gain the traction that, myself and a lot of people thought it was going to. So this news from Robinhood, it could be another one of those, where, are people going to use it? Does OpenSea, does MetaMask, do they already have such a dominant position that it doesn't matter when, these newcomers, come to play? But I mean, so Brian, what do you make of that? Like, does Robinhood have a shot at tackling the NFT market, and are they going to be able to get people to use their product, with the gas fee, kind of hit there alone?
So, one thing that I read how they're going to try to achieve it, they've stated they don't really know, or they haven't released or told anybody exactly how. But one of the ways is by partnering with, bigger liquidity providers and trying to always get the best price no matter what. So I guess in a way, because they do have the money in order to, utilize the liquidity, maybe they can find a way to run their own nodes and, use a layer 2 solution. That's another way they can probably do it, is via a layer 2 solution. So then we're taking away speed. Well, not kind of taking away speed, but then there's a whole thing about withdrawing your funds too, because on layer 2 solutions, there's some of them that you have to wait 7 days in order to take it out, and that's how they actually get around the gas prices and the network fees and all that other kind of stuff. So it's very interesting. And to the point on how they're going to compete, I mean, Robinhood is up there with Coinbase, and have a huge amount of users. I mean, they millions of users and people use Robinhood, so they already know that there's all those people there. So I think having that subscription model that can take care of it. But there's not another platform that has a subscription model that you can buy NFTs and stuff like that. So it's be very interesting, and I have no idea how they're going to do it. Layer 2 or be a huge liquidity provider and partnering with all those. I guess it's going to be very interesting. Hopefully soon we know.
Yeah, excellent points there, Brian. And the liquidity provider, that could be really come into play. The other thing is we do have the elephant in the room, the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, as he's better known, the CEO and co-founder of FTX, just recently announced that he had an 8% stake in Robinhood. That was a passive investment. There's a chance that Robinhood and FTX team up down the road, and maybe it could be on a platform like this. Again, that's not any inside information. That's all just, spinning the wheels here and thinking out loud. But I think it's
are they gonna let us have keys though too? That's one thing that I meant to mention a second ago, is a big thing about Robinhood at the moment and their crypto is even Coinbase is not your keys, your crypto. So are they going to let you, like how Coinbase wallets lets you have a seed phrase and you do own that crypto? Or are they going to be like their stocks and, or their current crypto now? And it's technically not yours. You're really just doing a almost certificate of a crypto. And that's what you're buying. So that's very interesting to think about too. How are you going to do that with DeFi,
The other thing, Brian, I don't think we talked about, but I remember writing an article. There is crypto exchange Kraken. Maybe we did talk about this. Kraken, their CEO said that they're going to go from offering crypto to adding stocks in the future. So kind of backwards of what all these stock platforms have done, right? You know, Robinhood and SoFi, eToro, and others. They offered stocks, and then it became crypto. Now your crypto platforms are trying to add as many features as possible. I mean, really down the road, we're just going to have all these, trading platforms as one big super app to be able to buy stock, crypto, NFTs, other assets. And if you don't offer all those things, I mean, it just puts you at an extreme disadvantage, right?
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Robinhood, they're a huge name in the means that for the retail trader, they're big. I mean, that's how I got my start with Robinhood. Then I found Webull because they had a lot better charting software, and there's just a lot more feature rich. And so I pretty much moved from Robinhood to Webull and used Webull and Moomoo, and dabbled Robinhood every now and again. But it's going to be very, very interesting to see really how they achieve all this stuff, being one of the most centralized and almost one of the most kind of, in a way, not really liked very well, but very highly used. So I know they're going to figure it out. It's just going to be like, is it true? Are you tricking us? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot there, and I hope that we get more details from Robinhood soon, so we can, of course, get into that more. Brian, we haven't been able to do this in a little while, but let's take a look at the top 10 NFTs by trading volume last week, and it was a red week. Only one project in the top 10 in the article that I wrote was up, and that was Azuki, which topped the list, $100 million in sales, up 225%. Then it was followed by Other Deed for Otherside, Bored Ape Yacht Club, Mutant Ape Yacht Club, Project PXN, Beans, Doodles, OK Bears, Clone X, and Moonbirds rejoining the top 10. Brian, we haven't chatted about this yet. Azuki was up for all the wrong reasons. Strong sales volume, but it was a lot of people selling because it came out that one of the founders of the project actually led several other NFT projects before that the community has labeled rugs. So a lot of people sold their Azukis. We saw the floor drop, but then we also saw people buying back in to Azuki. What do you make of that, Brian? The fact that the founder of the project kind of bounces around from project to project. Does that mean that people maybe shouldn't believe in the long-term vision of Azuki here or not?
I don't know if going that far to say the long-term vision is like kind of spoiled or ruined because of what this person's doing, or one of the one of the board members, I guess you would say. Because I can understand moving around, but the big red flag or the elephant in the room is the rug pulls being defined as rug pulls in some of these. So that's kind of I would hope that he's probably had a lot of Twitter Spaces, a lot of AMAs, and is very open and transparent about what's going on, what he's doing, and all the time. And like, if he was like, "Hey, this was a rug pull," because right now the way it sounds is people in the community are accusing it being a rug pull. It doesn't necessarily make it so. So I'm not going to say if one thing is or another without definitive proof. It is a huge red flag. But I also don't think that people are going to be buying in and doing all this stuff, and that project would be as big if it was a rug pull. When you think that people would just say, no, I'm not going to trust it because he could just walk away with millions and millions of dollars right now. So
Yeah,
it's one of those things. Like,
look at that volume chart right there. That volume speaks to what happened.
Very steady.
So the floor is now 13.4, which is obviously nothing to sneeze at. But one of the things I saw that was this huge discussion is really how, we had CryptoPunks, we have Bored Apes, And everyone keeps trying to say, you know, what's the next blue chip, right? And it kind of circles around. You know, we had, you know, Cool Cats, World of Women, Cyberkongs, Azuki, some of these other projects that really were hyped. They got really high. And then the community kind of, you know, stuck around, but the traders left and went on to other projects. So do you think this takes Azuki kind of out of that blue chip line now, as you know, some of the traders are done with the project and moving on?
That's a really good point too, because like you said, if you look at that volume, you saw it as like steady, had that huge spike, then a steady, not very much, and then boom, just freaking exploded. And then it's kind of now it's going back and dying down. And Azuki's kind of one of the older projects too, because it's been around in you know, in NFT terms, 3 months is 3 years. So I mean, it's been around the block. It knows what it's doing. Has a little bit of red flag, but I think people might be wanting to be kind of hesitant, especially with the market conditions right now. I am.
Yeah, definitely. And with the price of Ethereum falling as well. Brian, another key thing out of this top 10 list, we talk about this all the time, and normally there's a couple newcomers or people, you know, moving up and down. Out of these 10, 9 were in the previous week's top 10. The only exception was number 10, Moonbirds, which moved back into the top 10. So kind of a slower week, the fact that 9 of the top 10 were all there the week before. And as I said, Azuki was the only one that had a positive increase. We did see CPG Pop and Duplicators, which we'll talk about Duplicators in a minute. Those were new mints on the week. They ranked 11th and 15th. CryptoPunks ranked 12th and was up 71%, which was actually one of the few positive performers. So Rare, which is the soccer-themed NFT collection, was up 1%, ranking 14th. They actually recently announced a deal with Major League Baseball. And then, Brian, it wouldn't be an episode of The Roadmap without talking about our old favorite, NBA Top Shot. I have this circled on my articles to-do list. Their sales volume is $999 million. They are nearing the $1 billion milestone, which only 6 other projects have hit. But it has taken them a while to go from 500 million to $1 billion. They got to 500 million really fast, but obviously it's slowed down. But what do you think about NBA Top Shot joining the ranks of the $1 billion club?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think every episode we've mentioned, we have definitely mentioned Top Shot. I think everybody goes into it, and that's how a lot of people got their start. I think every project we've interviewed now has actually done something with Top Shot. They say they either that's how they got their start, or they knew about it, they heard about it, and they got interested in NFTs. I mean, that's what it's always been. So it's interesting to see that you know, they're up there still. They are in the almost in that $1 billion club, which is freaking insane. So I mean, yeah, they can't stop, won't stop. I mean, that's they're gonna be around forever.
Definitely. And Brian, speaking of being around forever, we don't know if this collection will be, but we might as well dive in for an update on OK Bears. Brian, have you looked at the floor price on OK Bears recently?
Yeah, it's like around $11,000, but like almost 300 SOL or something.
235 SOL, which was around $13,000 earlier today. This was 55 SOL, the very first episode we talked about, Brian, and obviously SOL was I think was around $95 that day. So it was around 5,225 for the floor price, and now we're at 13,000. These OK Bears, I just keep seeing them pop up more and more. Profile pictures on Twitter. I saw FaZe Banks talking about them. I saw some big NFT influencers talking about them, changing their profile picture. We're going to talk about Solana because it really seems like Solana is gaining steam. What do you think of OK Bears here, Brian? Is it too late, or is this another project that could end up becoming a blue chip?
I mean, I would classify it as a blue chip. I would classify it absolutely 100%. It is a blue chip on Solana blockchain. Um, I read something that was kind of funny, like that, or it was a tweet. I can't find the user, but I'll find it in just a second. But and then I'll link it. But someone said that having a derivative of a Solana project on Ethereum is full circle, and I think that's kind of funny because we had a lot of derivative projects on Solana, and now people are trying to knock them off and on Ethereum. So that's a pretty big news. I mean, and 235 Sol is not no laughing matter. I mean, that's $13,000 or roughly. That's a lot of money, or like 1,100 now. But wow, like this is a project. This is one to watch. This is one to be a part. If you're in it, that's awesome. Good, you did good. I don't know how they got so big being on Solana, but I'm all about OK Bears for sure.
And Brian, I was looking at Magic Eden and Solana Monkey Business. The floor price is 183. That was considered kind of the OG for a long time in Solana. But as you can see on the screen here, OK Bears is on OpenSea. So they have that advantage that you can buy OK Bears on both Magic Eden and OpenSea, where some of these other Solana projects, you have to connect to Magic Eden. You have to have a Phantom wallet. You have to, do something that you normally wouldn't, with your MetaMask and your OpenSea wallet. So I feel like that gives them, an advantage here. And I really think, obviously, there's some traits and characteristics that are similar to Bored Ape Yacht Club, which obviously we've seen people gravitate towards. But Brian, as you mentioned, that we came full circle. So I don't know if you saw this, but yesterday we actually had a mint of a new collection that was called Not OK Bears. And Not OK Bears was launched on the Ethereum blockchain. The first 1,000 mints were free, and then they were 0.02 to mint. They quickly rose up the rankings. I saw them hit 0.4 on OpenSea last night. Then they started to fall. They have been pulled from OpenSea now. All Not OK Bears are, Brian, is the inverse profile of an OK Bear. All they did was moved it from left to right. They have the same exact traits, same exact numbers, which is why OpenSea ultimately pulled them. But as you said, full circle, we used to get knockoff projects on Solana, and instead we got a Solana knockoff project on Ethereum. I didn't mint any of these, Brian, yesterday. If I did, I would have been selling them into the volume because I would have noted ultimate risk of them getting deep. But you can still buy them on Looks Rare. They have a floor price of like 0.06, which is above the mint price. So, Brian, what about Not OK Bears? Can they coexist with OK Bears, or long term are they done for?
Not long term. I mean, no, it's a derivative, it's a knockoff. So I don't think there has been a knockoff that didn't do I wouldn't say a pump and dump or anything like that, but I would definitely say like you have that huge spike and then level off, then kind of nothing. It just kind of becomes stagnant. So you haven't seen a whole lot of projects that kind of live off another person's hard work, because all they did was copy the contract and inverse it. But I just was looking, and there's two other projects that are on the top volume. You have Baby OK Bears, you have OK Bears, and then you have the Solana
Let's pull
ones.
up Baby OK Bears, because I just saw that in the chat from Greg. These minted today. I don't know anything about these, but they're definitely interesting. So
yeah, I mean, all they are is the same, just small. They're just baby. The OK Bears is smaller, But I mean, 367 volume in a week is pretty impressive too. So these derivatives are just killing it. I mean, that is pretty interesting.
Are these minted out? 7,700.
I'm trying to go to their website, but my computer's being really slow.
And are these the same number then in trade? Do they coincide? Would be my other question.
I don't have them side by side to check at the moment. It won't freaking load.
Yeah, I was trying to pull up OK Bears because OK Bears is
10,000. So they are all sold out.
Okay, so maybe they did a smaller and maybe their numbers don't match up.
Oh, there's like nothing on their website. All it is a minting.
Yeah,
portal.
I think it was a quick. Okay, their traits do not match up. I just pulled up 3493, and they're different. These have a better chance of sticking around on OpenSea, I would say. So, not financial advice by any means, but baby OK Bears. I don't know. We saw not OK Bears go to 0.4 yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if baby OK Bears had a bit of a run today. But again, I don't know if they can sustain. And I feel like, Brian, like we saw this happen with Bored Apes a long time ago, right? Where then we saw all the ape derivatives come along, all the knockoffs. And it really just strengthened the fact that how valuable Bored Ape was. And I feel like that's what we're going to get now with OK Bears. The fact that everyone's trying to knock off OK Bears, I feel like that just brings more attention to the original project. And OK Bears are showing their ultimate value, especially in Solana land.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
So Greg in the chat, did you get any baby OK Bears? I'm curious to know more about this project. Because it seems like this was just a quick mint today. And I don't know what the mint price was, but definitely seeing some volume in sales today. All right, and then let's move on. So, so not OK Bears. The other thing they did, though, Brian, was before we move on, they did a donation.
Yep.
So to mental health, 20% of the mint, which was around $73,000. So that was one of the things that a lot of people were mad that OpenSea delisted them. Then it was you had this project that did a donation to mental health. They shared the receipt, of the Ether scan of the donation. But again, I think any project where you copy traits, you just flip the image, you're going to run a risk of being delisted on OpenSea. Not so much Looks Rare or X2Y2, but OpenSea kind of has that policy of delist first, ask questions later. We saw that with some other projects before that eventually got, put back on. So I would be careful if you're minting any of these derivatives or knockoffs going forward.
Yeah, I would be too. But there's like on Looks Rare and other stuff. Just because it's still listed on OpenSea doesn't really mean it's still listed everywhere. But yeah, be careful because you don't want to get locked out completely either. But that is very, very interesting.
The other thing was I was looking at a Crypto Slam for the all-time sales volume, and Solana Monkey Business is 27th all-time. Degenerative Ape Academy 38th. Those are both Solana. OK Bears is 56th place. I think they're going to climb up the list over time and really get into that top 20. And I saw some more Solana projects in the 24-hour. Do you have the 24-hour? If you scroll up, Alyssa, there was a couple on Solana. Skullbot. I think they're on OpenSea too. If you pull up Skullbot, Biker Gang. So I didn't know much about these, but it already doubled. I swear it was like This was like 3 point something when I looked earlier, and now the floor is 6.5. Brian, have you heard of Skullbot
Like
Biker Gang?
today? I haven't. Or were you saying
Today,
it
already
today?
doubled from when I looked. Yeah, I looked just before earlier today, and it doubled.
No, I saw them, but I didn't really look into them or anything.
I think these minted recently, but I didn't know.
Trying to get more info on them.
And there's already a not Skullbot Biker Gang on OpenSea. See, this is the problem, is then we get all these derivatives. Yeah, I don't know much about these, but so okay, the whitelist mint price 1.69 SOL, and we're at 6 something. So again, Brian, I mean, these Solana projects, it's definitely a place I think you want to be looking for diversification. What?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 Solana projects in the weekly top 10 of volume.
Yeah,
that's pretty interesting. I mean, I don't think since we've been doing the roadmap, this is the first time that's ever happened.
No. And look at that. I mean, yeah, OK Bears, Skullbot,
Solana
Yep, there's more coming too. Like this is, they're saying Solana summer, and I think we're definitely headed there. So this is why we've done some past shows talking about Solana projects. I wonder, photo finish, the horse racing one. Where's my Magic Eden? I wonder how that is doing. If some of these older projects have gotten some volume as well. It looks like photo finish floor price 3.15 SOL. So that one's still on the lower side. What was the dragons, that legend? Baroku dragons. Yeah, see, there's so many, like, okay, 179 SOL for the dragons, for the OGs there on the left. Yep. So I mean, we're seeing people kind of get into new mints in Solana, but also looking at some of those OGs. Brian, what would be your strategy if you were diversifying, getting into Solana? Would you be looking for some of these newer ones, or would you maybe grab some of the older projects for the potential value there?
I'd probably be looking more at the newer projects. I would like an OK Bear, because I think that they're going to be ones that are going to retain their value and keep will drive up. Probably see a little bit of a dip, but you know how that goes. Like that would probably be one that I would actually be really interested in holding. Would be an OK Bear, maybe one of the Degen Apes, one of the photo finish, and then I would be really looking into which I've already started doing, but looking into these newer projects, like soon to mint ones that have a lot of hype behind them, a lot really good use case, a lot of utility, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, OK Bears, so with the floor price of whatever it was around $13,000. That's like what, like 6.5 ETH right now. That's really not a lot when you look at some of these Ethereum based projects. So look at Sol. Sol has come down to 53.57. Brian, it might be time, to go in on Solana here and start buying up some of these NFT collections. I don't know if I can get an OK Bear right away. Spoiler alert, I can't. But maybe flip my way there, getting into some of these newer Solana projects, and then maybe trying to grab an OK Bear for the long run.
I like that idea.
Yeah, so we'll do an upcoming show where we'll take a look at some upcoming Solana mints, because that's the big question everyone wants to know, right? Is what's next? Grim Syndicate. Ooh, these look kind of sweet, almost like a Predator. The top middle there, I feel like, but there's so many So many Solana projects, though. That's the other thing. But yeah, buying into volume, looking at the sales volume leaders, that's always something I like to look at. Mouse in the house, gotta love that name. Look at those. Yeah, I mean, I could see these. So Brian, upcoming show, we'll have to take a look at the upcoming Solana mints and maybe the like top 10 Solana projects of all time, or top 10 of the past month, because I think there's a good bridge between both of those, where you can kind of catch some value, catch some momentum. But a lot of these new projects are like 3xing or 5xing like within a week, and that doesn't mean they're all going to. But definitely something to keep in mind going forward. I hate to move away from Solana because this is fun. There's so much going on, but I wanted to take a look at Doodles, or talk about Doodles for a minute, because we haven't had the show last week. And Doodles had some massive news. They actually did their next mint, which was duplicators. Let me see if I can pull this up. I think they're on OpenSea now, but they haven't been revealed. Yeah, duplicators. So this was a free claim for anyone who owns a Doodle. And as you see there, Doodles have a floor of 14. Duplicators have a floor of 3.36. So it's kind of like Cool Pets and Cool Cats, and kind of like Mutant Ape Yacht Club and Bored Ape Yacht Club, where you can get into the ecosystem at a cheaper price, right? Duplicators are a whole new mint. Whereas Doodles did the space Doodles before, where it was kind of like a vehicle for your Doodle, but it actually had to be within the same NFT. These are separate. So you have until June 21st to claim your duplicator. And then on June 22nd, a trailer is going to premiere at NFT NYC featuring the duplicators. And then on June 23rd, traits and rarities will be revealed. And this summer, duplication begins. And what duplication means, we don't know all the way. Brian, what do you think? Duplicators, could this be some sort of almost serum that Bored Ape did to make mutant apes? Do you think duplicators could make these doodles look a little bit different and create a whole new line?
That's really interesting. And yes, I do. I think that's really cool. Doodles have been probably one of my all-time favorite for the art, for everything they got going on. So this is something I am very excited to see what happens. Of course, I can't afford a doodle, but I really like this whole idea, and I love the fact, I love projects that if you have one, you can mint another, then it'll change the other. That's just one of my favorite aspects of some of these projects, and I think that's so cool. So I'm
Alyssa, can you go back to the sales volume a minute on Doodles? So the other big news that Doodles had was they announced on Twitter that they have a new CEO, Julian Holgun, who is formerly the president of Billboard Music, joined Doodles and is going to lead Doodles' next growth stage of intellectual property throughout music, gaming, and entertainment, while deeply integrating culture into the product. And they said that they would announce several partnerships and a full reveal of our vision and roadmap in the future. Of course, Duplicators was part of that. Brian, it's not every day you see the CEO or president of a company like Billboard leave and join an NFT. What do you think of that?
Yeah, that is I would say that's risky move. That's risky business, but that's how much faith they have in this project. So that goes a really long way. And of course, Doodles have huge partnerships. They have a bunch of a lot of other stuff in the mix and in the future coming. So I really don't see it as very like extremely risky, but that is pretty interesting to think about. You know, someone who has a really nice salary, benefits, and all this other stuff going into a NFT project. that says a whole lot about what he feels with this company and with this whole project as a thing, as a brand even.
Yeah, and I mean, there's different reasons for leaving companies, joining new companies, of course. Sometimes money can be, a deciding factor. But I think to leave uh, an established one for an NFT, like you said, speaks volumes. So Cool Cats is also looking for a CEO. So I think we're going to see more NFT projects kind of move beyond the founder control into a outsider leading the way. What's your thoughts on that, Brian?
Yeah, I think you pretty much nailed that. I mean, you have someone with a whole lot of also experience in the industry, not necessarily for NFTs, but like in the tech industry, and knows what they're doing, knows what they're talking about, has a whole lot of different types of experience in the business world and everything. So I think I think that was the right move, and I think that they did a very I mean, yeah, I think he's going to do some crazy things with this, and it's going to be even more interesting. Like within a matter of months, we're going to see some really cool ideas and new features, I guess is a good way to say it. I don't really know how to explain it, but new things coming from Doodles because of that.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, I don't have enough to get a Doodle either, but I definitely think they have an exciting runway ahead. Speaking of exciting runways ahead, other deeds for Otherside, the land mint from Yuga Labs, they put out a trailer recently. Alyssa, if you can pull up that trailer for the game, kind of gave us a sneak peek of what we should expect from Otherside. So let's play this video, and then we'll share our thoughts after on this. But it kind of follows up that original trailer that they put out. Brian, I saw a lot of people talking and comparing it to Fortnite. Do you get some similar vibes?
Yep. Definitely that same kind of animation and the way the character is, and I mean, I definitely see it. But I think that the Fortnite aesthetic kind of goes really well with it.
Yep.
I still want to know what the codas are more about.
Yeah, I just think this is so well done. And again, this is just a sneak peek from them. I think we'll obviously get more details in the future. But, Yuga Labs has said that Otherside is going to be their metaverse in the future. And Bored Ape's going to have a huge presence at NFT NYC this summer. And I think maybe then we'll get some more information. You see the codas on the flags there. But yeah, we don't know when this game is coming out, which means we also don't know how valuable the other deed for Otherside land is going to be until a game gets released, till we know more about those traits and assets and codas, right? As you said. Brian, I think you missed this last week, but I was talking about... and you actually, I think, own some Bored Ape or Mutant Ape shares on Rally, the fractional investing site. So Rally had, yeah, that's just Fortnite with the monkey in it. Thanks, Greg.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. And I mean, I've played Fortnite before, and it definitely shares some characteristics. Brian, I own some shares of Bored Ape Yacht Club and Mutant Ape Yacht Clubs on Rally. And there was a vote a couple weeks ago of the other deed for Otherside land. You could either vote to keep it as part of your shares, part of the asset, or to sell it and get dividends, similar to what they did with the ApeCoin mint. Everyone voted majority in favor on all Bored Ape and Mutant Ape assets to hold on to those other deed lands. So I am a partial owner of some other deed land. Brian, what do you think of that? do you like the long-term play of holding like a Bored Ape and an Other Deed together?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think we've said this multiple times, and it's pretty, it's pretty well understood and almost, like duh. But anything you hold by Yuga Labs right now is going to, be a pretty nice, get, and even in a couple of years, I mean, you're gonna be just fine. Not financial advice, but of course they're really good. But having that whole combo, I'm very excited to see what else, like what other benefits. We've talked about this. We've had multiple like ideas of what might happen and theorize like kind of what possibility, what features you might get if you hold one of these or all of them. Or it'd be really nice to know, like, can you play as your board? If you have this board, can you play as it during the game? And does it affect, the in-game dynamics if you hold X, Y, and Z and all this other stuff? So yeah, it'd be really interesting to see, what that means. And hope it's just not nonsense.
Yeah, let's take a look at the chat. I saw some comment here. Strictly Sports saying they have a long way to go. And also saying that a lot of blockchain games have released theatrical trailers and not legit gameplay. I would say to that point, I also have seen a lot of NFT projects mention a game and not even put out a trailer and still, have success. So I think the trailers are helping to carry this, and it means that we are a little ways away from seeing this game, but I think it's bullish to get the trailer at this point. And Yuga Labs has an investment from, Animoca Brands, which is a gaming company. They partnered with a British metaverse company on this game, that Improbable, that's mentioned in that tweet. But those are excellent points in the chat as well. Strictly Sports, that just because they have a trailer out doesn't mean we'll see the game. But I think we've all kind of learned at this point that Yuga Labs is a big one to bet against at this point. Wouldn't you say, Brian?
Oh yeah, I mean, but it's also a good point to say, like, hey, there's this trailer that doesn't mean they'll ever actually launch it, So we'll have to kind of see. But that is a really good point to think about. Just because the trailer doesn't mean it's actually happening or it has happened. But I'm sure they will. I mean, there's nothing but money there, and there's nothing but hype, and I'm sure it will actually all come to fruition.
Brian, we have a question in the chat from Alex about the crypto crash. Do you want to kick off the conversation here on what is going on and why we are seeing cryptos crash right now?
Okay, so there's a handful of things going on, and just so everyone knows, this is more from my side, more speculation, and I know Chris can talk more on the actual stock market side and how that equates to it. But one of the things that happened was the peg coin that Luna had. It lost its peg due to an error in the contract and the code and everything. So it lost its peg. So it pretty much crashed. I mean, Luna completely crashed. That and it being and then their stablecoin UST, that of course went to zero. And a lot of companies like Binance still hasn't sold any of their holdings, but people lost billions. I mean, it lost all of its market. It's crazy. But that had a trickle effect to other cryptos too. You had a lot of scaring off and a lot of fear. And what happens is, the stock market's already pretty much kaput right now. It's really rough out there and everything. And so when that happened, it created this huge domino effect that just pretty much wiped out billions of dollars within the whole crypto as a whole. So Bitcoin went below 30K for the first time in forever. Ethereum went below, I think went below 20,000 for the first time for a while. And so, we just like everything just kind of trickled down. My opinion, I like this because now this opportunity to get into these coins, and Bitcoin's not $50,000, Ethereum's not over $4,000. All these coins are now almost 50% to 75% off. If you played it right after the crypto crash the last couple of days, you could have made some good money. There's a lot of stuff to be very grateful for. I'm thankful that the bubble kind of popped, because now people can get back in, kind of reset, and there's not that fear of when is it going to happen. So I honestly think it's not a bad thing at all. It's very regular. It happens, but I'm cool with it. I like it.
Yeah, and I mean, you heard me mention before Solana down to like 55. I mean, I was almost buying Solana at 95 a couple weeks ago, and I kind of like it too. Is I'm able to now buy up some Solana. I did actually buy some Ethereum under 2K the other day. I was able to add to that position. And, you know, when you look at the floor prices on some of these NFTs, you have to kind of consider the USD terms of how much cheaper they are now. You know, so with Bored Ape trading at a floor price of 98, but with Ethereum at 2K, that's a lot different than when Bored Ape was trading at 98 ETH floor, $4,000 Ethereum. So
absolutely,
I know 1 ETH equals 1 ETH in a lot of people's minds, but a lot of people also think USD still. So something to consider there too.
Absolutely. And someone asked if it was USDT. It was not Tether. It was UST, which was Terra Luna. I think the name of it is a
Yep.
stable coin. The Luna actual stable coin that lost its peg, which means it lost its pair to the US dollar. So it wasn't one UST was not equal to $1 anymore, and it was way off. And then it just pretty much is worthless now.
A question from Haven in the chat. What are popular dead NFT projects with no future utility? Oh man, if we knew the answer to that, there'd be some call outs probably and some upset people, because ultimately if a popular NFT project has no future utility, I don't know what that means going forward. A lot of people maybe argued CryptoPunks a long time ago because you didn't own the rights to your punk. So you really didn't have any future utility. But with Yuga Labs buying that up, there's the potential of some future utility there as well too. I don't know though. That is an excellent question. You know, obviously on the show we try to tend to the other side of that question is where is the future utility that projects have? Do you ever think projects with no future utility? Because to me, I would stay away. So I don't know, Brian. Anything to add on that question?
So I guess a popular dead NFT project. It's kind of hard to like what would you define as a dead project? Just like where no one's really
Nothing's
no one's working
happening.
on
Like
it.
no roadmap, no future.
Gotcha. So I can't really name something specifically like that, but there are a few cool projects that not necessarily aren't dead, but were created to be for the community, to where there's not really an end goal in sight, but it's all community driven. So it's more of a DAO. And so, you know, it's going to grow into something right now. There's one called Greg Likes Hats, I think. And I thought it was kind of funny. It wasn't the best art, but it's kind of cool because, you know, there's no promises, anything. He said if it works out, they will create one, and then it'll just be driven by the community and how it goes. So no one's going to be in charge of it, which I think is a really cool concept. And I wish we could see more of that, and more of them popular too, like where they get high up there. What's the nouns, like that one? I
Nouns,
love
yep.
nouns. Yeah.
I would even say like MFers. When MFers launched, there wasn't like a roadmap or a Discord or any future utility. That was really about the community aspect, as you said. Last point here before we wrap up. We have a comment from Strictly Sports Music talking about music NFTs this summer. Brian, Billboard Music Awards were on Sunday, and Pepsi partnered with them, and they actually did live minting of NFTs during the award show. So as awards were announced, you could mint a commemorative NFT. So again, probably not future utility, but you kind of get a keepsake memento if you're a fan of the band. I was able to mint some of those. I haven't looked at them since Sunday, full disclosure. I have no idea what they're doing, but they were free. All I had to do was sign up with an email address, click a couple buttons, and I now own some free Billboard Music Award NFTs. And I think that's another example of, these music and companies connecting and getting into NFTs. The other one I saw, the Chainsmokers, a band. They actually own a Bored Ape Yacht Club. They've been big into NFTs for a while. They announced that their new album, they're going to be doing 5,000 NFTs, and I think they're giving them away just randomly to people who buy the album. And the owners of those NFTs they'll be able to split 1% of royalties of all album sales. So this is the first big example of a band doing a full album with NFT royalties. We've seen musicians do like a song at a time with royalties, but this is one of the first big examples. Brian, what do you think of that? Good way for musicians here to get into the NFT space and also share some of the profits?
Oh yeah, I think I think that is going to be the new way things go, because you take out a lot of things, especially for like ticketing for music events, for concerts, for actual other sporting events, and all that kind of stuff. You limit the amount of scams. You limit the amount of people reselling. There's a ton of different things that you can utilize, and music is one of the biggest things that's going to be revolutionized by the non-fungible token protocol. And so we're going to see a lot of different ways it's going to be used in that space. I'm very excited. I think that that's a very good point, and something that people like always keep an eye out on those, because music with NFTs and different things about it, that's going to be hot. That's going to be a big thing, and it's barely even started yet. So if you have an idea, try to get in that space now, but definitely look out for that, because that's going to be the next big thing.
All right. Well, I think it's going to do it for us today on the roadmap. I think we're going to do a episode tomorrow, but it may be a little bit shorter. We have a trading boot camp happening all day tomorrow. So if you're into stocks, you're into crypto, you want to learn more ways, more tools of how to trade better, check out the boot camp tomorrow, and we will be on whenever the boot camp wraps up. Anything else to add, Brian, before we go today?
Check out Benzinga pro.benzinga.com. Get a free 2-week free trial. We have a ton of webinars, some of the stuff. We have Anne Marie in the chat room now. If you get the essential plan, you can check out her trades. She will, oh man, she is awesome. She's amazing, and she's very popular with our pro users. Let's just say that she's very, very good at what she does. Very smart, very knowledgeable, very helpful. But check it out. She's worth the subscription alone. But definitely check out Pro. Check us out tomorrow for the next show, Thursday, Twitter Spaces. Y'all already know this. You know what you need. You know what we got.
All right, guys. We will catch you tomorrow. And as Brian said, pro.benzinga.com. Everyone have a great rest of your day, and stay tuned for pre-market prep at the close coming up soon, where Joel and Spencer will break down all the top stories and movers